The script or storyboard involves screens and dialogue. In production, I record actors' voices, handle camera and lighting. Modeling, materials, and lighting take time. Sound recording is a separate task. Video editing or gravitational edit results in a final product for platforms. I will render the films. Modeling, materials, and lighting each take 12 hours. Rendering can finish in 3 hours. We're discussing audio work and sound engineers, leading to video editing. Series and films are released on platforms instead of TV or cinemas. This model is my creation, free of others' intellectual property rights. Sharing this is important. We're discussing audio work and video editing, the gravitational edit. Important steps exist in production. This model is my own creation. Most information is from my personal book on animation. I made versions in 2013, summer 2014, and a more recent one in 2015. Films are shown on platforms, not cinemas, so keep in mind that there are very important steps in the production process. This model I prepared myself, so it doesn't have any intellectual property rights held by anyone else. Most information is from my book. My book has several editions on animation, important to share. Honestly, I don't know where my book is. I can't remember the last version. I made a version in 2013, another in summer 2014, and in 2015, a more recent version. I have that here. The last version is about 3D Max. The 3D Max or 2015 book, I divided into parts as it was a large reference. I honestly don't know where my book is right now. I can't remember when the last version was published, but what I do know is that I made a version in 2013, then another in the summer of 2014, and in 2015 there was a more recent version that either went to print or didn't. So I have that here in my work. In my work, the latest version is the one for 3D Max, or the book that went to print looks like it was in 2019 or maybe 2016, and I haven't updated it in a long time. The 3D Max book, or the 2015 version, I divided it into parts because it was a very large reference. But people found it overwhelming, so I split it into sections. This part is practical, and this part is theoretical, all right? This is about educational 3D animation, and there are many editions of it. Of course, I will provide you with some resources around this topic to have with you in a copy. But people, they resigned and were divided into parts, 3D animation, and there are many editions. I will give you resources on this topic. In a large copy, I hope to show you 3D Max All-in-One V6. It's 81 MB. Nearly 100 MB, with many pages as it's a complete version. It has much info on principles and movement, about 473 pages. Don't divide it. Nobody reads all this. This is to explain how to create fire, explosions, smoke, dust, sea surface, and sun view. It's a big version. I hope to show you the 3D Max All-in-One version 6. Its size is 81 megabytes, and it contains a lot of information about principles and movement, around 473 pages. This is just so that someone can explain to someone else how to create fire, explosions, smoke, dust, the surface of the sea, the view of the sun, rain, and snow. Characters are a whole other big topic. So it also contains a lot of information about principles and movement, around 473 pages. Of course, don't divide it up. Nobody reads all of this. This is just so that someone can explain to someone else how to create fire, how to create explosions, smoke, dust, the surface of the sea, and the view of the sun. Rain, the slush, and the adjustment. This is a song about natural environments, private institutions, light, and the production itself and everything. I mean, the characters are another song, a big song that works like this. What is it? I mean, even the historical figures. And this talk, I was saying about it, and the talk is guesswork. I mean, until it is still far away, to close it again. This is regarding the first part of the theoretical presentation that we're writing. Of course, this training has many directions, and Al-Qasim University offers several programs. Let's open the second presentation to save time and see how things are going. The second presentation is supposed to explain what I covered in the first part, but I don't want to spend too much time. On theory, I don't want to take too much time on this, and I'll talk about all these coordinates. But let's go back and see what our program looks like first. So, allow me to switch to the program screen and see how things are going. The program is finished. I left it to its own devices, honestly. I said, I'm not coming. The screen is clear and there's no problem. The program is finished. Let's do a quick check on Blackboard, and I'll ask you in the chat if you see anything. Sound and picture are clear. Conversation is flowing. Dr. Dalal, thank you. You mentioned something nice with N. Not sure, but it's clear. Let's start the program. Start the program. You, doctor, use the trial version for 30 days. I created a user with my university email, so I got a year. But you, Dr. Dalal, Dr. Ali, turn on the car. Dr. Ali, you're typing in English, so I don't understand. But it's nice. We start downloading, and he tells me about 3D Max updates. Welcome, everyone. All right, let's go. Let's start the program. I haven't done anything, I just left it to myself and got to this point since the hour I was explaining. So I say, start the program. Allow me a bit of theory and a bit of practice. You, doctor, use the trial version for just 30 days, only 30 days trial. Since I created the user, and because I'm in the educational field with my university email, they gave me a year. But you, Dalal Ali, switch to Arabic, Ali. You're typing in English, I don't understand, but it's nice. We always deal with each other. I know you well, Mala. We start downloading there, and he tells me about 3D Max, and there are updates in it. It starts running 3D Max, the new 2023 version, the latest ever. I have copies here from wherever there was 3D Max. I ran it on XB 22 years ago. I studied Max from the beginning, so here we are starting 3D Max. It's slow on my system, so the device needs power. For me, everything's fine. It should be. Abdul Rahman, so I have here. So it starts loading or running 3D Max, the 2023 version. I have a user working, and it's a bit slow right now, but it's supposed to be starting. We're still in the trial version together. We're saying, in the name of God, let's create an account and send them the request in English, and they'll send you activation for a year. I did that, honestly. I worked on and studied Max a long time ago from way back. So here we are starting 3D Max. It's opening slowly. So the device needs to be powerful enough. Everything's fine. My view is this. It should be Abdul Rahman. The user is working, but it's a bit slow right now. It's starting the trial version together. Dr. Dalal, Dr. Ali, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, let's create an account, send the request in English, and they'll send activation for a year. I did that. Look, I even have my account here. You'll find this information. I won't go into that now, but I want to get you Abdul Rahman account, and here are my licenses. Check the licenses, Dr. Dalal. Everything's good. The user is working. It's a bit slow right now, but it's supposed to be starting the trial version together. Dr. Ali, we're saying, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, let's create an account and send them the request in English, and they'll send you activation for a year. I did that honestly. Please come here and look at my account carefully. You'll find this detailed information. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I just want to get you Abdul Rahman's account. And here are my licenses. Please check the licenses thoroughly, Dr. Dalal, and ensure everything's good and in order. Amutaz, there has to be a code. I'll get you the code and the activation method, Dr. Dalal. I'll show it to you. I'm talking about your rights as a university professor for a year. Back in February last year, I was doing it. So my version ends on February 15th. Here's my ID, and everything's going smoothly. I don't know what's wrong, Abu Asfal, or it's fine. And he told her, you can remove the licenses. So I said, I'm a student version user. I told him I'm on the student version. All right. All right. Dr. Abdullah, I introduced you back in February. I told him that from my account, I'm on the student license.